Maryland women's lacrosse is battling to bring home its second straight Big Ten tournament title while also preparing for the upcoming NCAA tournament. We'll take a look at how the Terps can bring home more hardware coming up next on the Left Bench in Focus.
Overall, love our growth defensively.
She had those stops that really allowed us to kind of put our foot down.
Thanks for joining us here on the Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Ben Wolf, here alongside Sam Jane. And Sam, what a great time of year to break down Maryland women's lacrosse.
It is, Ben, absolutely, because later today, the Terps will compete in the Big Ten Semifinals in Columbus, Ohio. But in case you missed it, they needed to win over Ohio State in the quarterfinals to even get to that point.
Yeah, Maryland didn't play a perfect game, but they got the job done. Terps, Buckeyes in lacrosse, yeah, you probably know how this one went. Maryland tallied 2 quick goals to start the game, and Ohio State responded with 2 of its own. The Terps were able to notch 3 more to keep a steady lead throughout the game. As usual, the Shea Ahern, Abby Bosco, and Corey Edmondson trifecta controlled the circle, going 19-3 in draw controls. But 15 Maryland turnovers led to plenty of opportunities for the Buckeyes. Emily Sterling had 10 saves, including a clutch save in the second quarter. But 8 meters were a killer for Maryland, as 3 of the Buckeyes' 7 goals came from free positions. In the fourth, Maryland took over the game on all ends of the field and secured the 11-7 victory. Here's head coach Cathy Reese on the first round dub.
But defensively, we put ourselves in situations where Emily can make the save, or we were able to cause a couple shot clock violations, which was really good. So overall, love our growth defensively. We just turned the ball over too many times in the offensive end and didn't shoot very well.
And we were expecting a rematch with Johns Hopkins on Thursday, but those plans were spoiled by Rutgers, Maryland's next opponent. Ranked number 23 in the country, despite finishing just 1-5 in the conference, the Scarlet Knights knocked off third-seeded Hopkins 15-14 in a massive upset victory. Rutgers' top scorer is senior Maureen Hartshorn, leading a veteran attack that plays smart and controls the tempo of games. But Maryland has scored 72 more goals than the Scarlet Knights this year and defeated them 16-8 when the 2 teams squared off in March. So on paper, Ben, the Terps have the clear advantage. Still, this is tournament time, and as we saw with Johns Hopkins, anything can happen when it's single-game elimination.
You're right, any team can win on any given day.
That's right, you just got to learn that you have to be wary of any team.
And ahead of Thursday night's matchup, our Alexa Woolen caught up with Cathy Reese to get her impressions of the Buckeyes and the rest of the road for Maryland. Take a listen.
I'm here with Coach Cathy Reese of the women's lacrosse team, and Coach, you have your semifinal game for the Big Ten tournament this Thursday. You guys had the great win over Ohio State on Saturday. How are you feeling going into Thursday's game?
Great, we're really excited. It'll be nice to kind of get on the road and have the actual tournament feel. Hosting the quarterfinals was just a different experience for us in the Big Ten because that was a new format this year. So our team's really looking forward to competing. I know the games were the late games, so it'll be late at night, but just fired up to play. We haven't played Rutgers since our first game of the Big Ten game of the regular season, so it's been a while, and looking forward to the challenge.
And then I know on Saturday you talked about that you guys didn't shoot it great and you had too many turnovers for your liking. What are you guys doing in practice leading up to the game to just work on that?
Just really emphasizing valuing the ball, and taking care of it when we're there. Most of our turnovers are coming on the offensive end. And so I love when we take chances, but at the same time we need to be smart about what we're doing. And so it's kind of a fine line between encouraging us to push it, push the tempo, control the tempo, but at the same time value the ball so that we're the ones in possession of it. So just focusing a lot of that. And we spend a lot of time on shooting anyway. Ohio State had some great saves, and so hopefully that we can adjust and make better decisions and shot placement on the Rutgers goalie on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. And then just as the postseason gets started even more, you have the NCAA double tournament. After the Big Ten tournament, what are you guys just as a whole working on to make sure that you're ready for every team you're going to face that you maybe haven't seen so far this season?
Yeah, so I think, you finish your regular season where you're going through 17 games of you're seeing so many different styles of play, trying to be the best team you can be, and now we're in a situation where you got to win to advance. And so all of our focus is on Thursday. What do we need to do to beat Rutgers? It's not really about bigger picture. What do we need to do moving forward? It's like, what does Maryland need to do to be successful? The things we just talked about with taking care of the ball, limiting our turnovers, and placing our shots are going to be two big pieces going into Thursday.
Well, those are all my questions. Thank you so much, and good luck on Thursday.
And Sam, like Reese just said, the Maryland is really going to have to limit those turnovers so they don't give their opponents free opportunities.
Controlling the ball is going to be so important for them come tournament time, and they've done a better job of it as the season's progressed. They're going to have to continue that if they want to raise another banner for the Terps.
You got that right. Well, we just heard from Cathy Reese about what Maryland is doing to prepare for tonight's game. But one aspect of the game that wasn't mentioned is an area Maryland has dominated all season, the draw.
And Maryland's list of dominant draw specialists is a long one, too. Alexa Wooten joins us now from Studio B to tell us about the Terps' most recent star in the circle.
Yeah, guys, Maryland has been dominant in the circle all year, currently holding the third best draw control percentage in the nation. The Terps have won 290 draws to their opponents' 175. So, how are they so dominant in this category? The answer, Shaylin Ahern. The senior midfielder has been the focal point of success for Maryland this year on the draw. She's currently ranked 16th in the nation for draw controls per game, averaging 6.6. And this past Saturday, Ahern notched her 300th draw control, making her only one of 4 Terps to have 300 career draw controls. 2 things make Ahern successful. First, Ahern is already quick. She has quick hands on the draw and a quick first step once the ball is released. 2 musts for a draw specialist. But what makes her excel is her ability to adapt. When she is not winning the draw, she knows she needs to make adjustments, and she does just that. She's like a chameleon, mirroring her opponents and then beating them at their own game. A great example is in last year's Final Four. Charlotte North was dominating Ahern on the draw, and Maryland was 0 for 6 on the draw controls at the start of the game. Ahern made the adjustments, and the second quarter, Maryland went 8 for 9 on the draw. Secondly, her communication and chemistry with her unit. Communicating with her unit while the ball is being set is something she has always done. Let's listen to her in last year's semifinals.
Ride them out, get them outside that 8 meter to make the lower angle shot.
Hold.
She has it! Shan!
Hands off.
Courtney, on!
Hands off the head. Where head? Your hands on the head. You know where your hand can be.
We just heard Shay on the draw, and you can hear her cueing to her teammates where they need to go because she's going to place the ball for them to get it there. Now, for this season, it has been Abby Bosco and Corey Edmondson or Shannon Smith with Ahern on the circle, and she is constantly talking with them as the official sets the draw. Either Ahern is setting herself up for the grab, placing it right where Bosco can swoop in, or Edmondson can box out and pick up the ground ball. The three's chemistry has been on fire recently, especially in the Big Ten quarterfinals, when the Terps went 19-3 on draw controls. Now, I mentioned earlier that Ahern is one of 4 Terps to ever reach 300 draw controls, and she currently sits at number 4 overall in draw controls for Maryland. So let's look at who stands ahead of her in program rankings. The all-time record holder for draw controls for the Terps is one of, if not the best players to come out of Maryland, Taylor Cummings. Cummings currently sits at number 1 with 509 career draw controls. Following Cummings is Ahern's predecessor, Callie Hartshorn. Hartshorn took the draw for Maryland during Ahern's freshman season in 2020. The attacker was on track to beat Cummings' record, but the COVID-19 pandemic ended the 2020 season early, and Hartshorn did not choose to take that extra year of eligibility and finished with 421 career draw controls. Sitting at number 3 is Lizzie Colson, who was a part of Ahern's draw unit during that 2021 season and amassed 324 career draw controls. Now that Ahern has 300 draw controls herself, and with the postseason still left, she could easily move herself up the list. Now, Sam, Ben, she's only 24 draw controls away from Colson. With almost the entire postseason ahead, what are we thinking? Does she take 3rd overall before the season ends?
Yeah, Alexa, I think, and Ben, with such little time left, it's hard to say she's going to be able to reach it, but I think she's going to get awfully close.
And you know what? I'm going to go bold. I think she does. She's been dominating all year, and that's going to continue in the tournament. Thank you, Alexa, for the great insight.
Thanks, Alexa. Can't wait to see the rest of your coverage. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll tell you about a former Terp who's trying something new this year.
We'll also hand out some awards and crown our top 5 plays of the year. Stay with us.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to the Left Bench in Focus, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central. Ben Wolf, Sam Jane, and Sam, it's no secret that several former Terps are continuing to help out the Maryland program and continue to grow the game of Maryland women's lacrosse.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Like former national champion Taylor Cummings, who isn't just a player and a coach. Kira Bruno tells us why you can add color commentator to her resume as well.
Now that we are on TV, that the game is being streamed and on actual live TV, you know, it's really important now that there are announcers who have an understanding of the game.
You may recognize Taylor Cummings, considered one of the best women's lacrosse players in the nation, and she's a former Terp.
I know what the players are going through, kind of what they're thinking of in certain situations.
And because she's a coach, she's got a read on the game from that perspective as well.
And then from the coaching aspect, you know, it helps me kind of have a deeper understanding of what might be going through Cathy's head or Kenneth's or Caitlin's heads and the opposing coaches as well.
For Cummings, being a commentator means so much more than just calling a game. It's about continuing to grow the game of women's lacrosse and being an inspiration to other young girls out there who may also want to join this field.
Women are watching. Women play. They know the understanding of games, sometimes at the same or deeper levels than their male counterparts.
Brendan Hartlove, who's by Cummings' side on the call, agrees.
We need people like Taylor that are doing such an amazing job to kind of help open a lot of those doors that, especially for some of the, quote, smaller sports, maybe haven't always been open.
And for the young women who want to be in Cummings' spot one day,
I'd say keep pushing, and there's a space for everybody.
And Ben, we talked about Cummings earlier with the draw controls. Now we're hearing about how she's commentating. I mean, what can't she do?
I know, she's really a jack of all trades, and it's great to see that she's able to continue her love for lacrosse after her playing career.
That's right. We talked about one program legend. Now it's maybe time to talk about some other ones. This is our time to start handing out our awards for this year, starting with the big one, this year's MVP. Take it away, Ben.
Our MVP this season is the reigning Big Ten Goalie of the Year, Emily Sterling. Sterling has had yet another outstanding year as the anchor of the Maryland defense. The goalie has recorded 155 total saves, translating to a .489 save percentage. Sterling has been the heart and soul of the Terps, and her strong play fuels her supporting cast. Her two best save performances came against Georgetown and then number 17 Princeton, both wins for the Terps. The senior will be leaving some big shoes to fill, and she'll look to bring more titles back to College Park as her career winds down. Congrats, Emily, on being named our MVP.
Our Defensive Player of the Year is going to a veteran Terp. It's two-time first-team All-Big Ten defender, Abby Bosco. The grad student entered this season as the USA Lacrosse Magazine Preseason Defender of the Year. That's a wordful, but she's lived up to the hype, starting in every game so far this season for the Terps. Maryland is third in the Big Ten in shutouts, which is thanks largely in part to Bosco. Her senior season high in caused turnovers came against Ohio State on April 8th with 4, an incredible performance by Bosco, who just continues to ball out this season.
Bosco has been clamps this year and playing a huge role in Maryland's success. Now it's time to shout out a youngin', because our Rookie of the Year is none other than Corey Edmondson. Edmondson has had a great first year at Maryland, notching 42 total points, which ranks third on the team. The rookie is a scoring machine as she slashes and dashes her way through the defense. She has about 36 goals so far this season. Edmondson found her stride in the middle of the season when she notched 6 hat tricks in a row. The future is bright for Edmondson, and she'll be a cornerstone of this Maryland team for years to come. Congrats, Corey.
Now we turn our attention from current Terps to someone who's in the coaching ranks. Brindy Griffin is our pro Terp. The former Maryland star is now coaching just down the road in Annapolis, serving as an assistant coach for the Navy women's lacrosse team. While in College Park, though, Griffin was one of the most prolific scorers to come through the Maryland program. In her final season, she finished second on the team in goals with 35. But her best year actually came as a junior in 2019, when she recorded 44 goals and 68 points, shooting 53% on the season. Deciding to come back with the extra COVID year, Griffin made herself a Terp legend and then got into coaching at Navy, where she's known as a pretty good recruiter. Congrats to Griffin on being our pro Terp. And with that, it's time to present our top 5 plays of the year. Ben, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Alrighty, starting off at number 5, we got our Rookie of the Year, Corey Edmondson, with her first playoff career goal. She slashes hard to the goal and puts it in the toy department over the goalie's head.
Edmondson's been so good all year, and that's a great goal. But check out this one from Libby May, a jump goal. May could be playing basketball with the acrobatics there to turn, shoot, and fire.
Here we got Emily Sterling at number 3, our MVP, with this point-blank save. Look at those cat-like reflexes on the goalie.
Then at number 2, we have Eloise Clevenger with the record-breaking assist against Ohio State. Anytime you can break a record and not your name in the history books, it's worthy of a top 5 play, and Clevenger did exactly that, Ben.
And here at number 1, we got an ice-cold no-look assist from Jordan Lipkin to Libby May. Insane play by the midfielder.
Lipkin's so good. What an assist. Great play.
And that's all for this edition of the Left Bench in Focus. It was a pleasure to join you up here, Sam, for a few times. And don't worry, we've got a couple more shows on the way next week.
That's right. Kevin McNulty in his last show, I'm crying already just thinking about it, will be joined with Kira Bruno to sign off for the year on Tuesday before Matthew Noose and Jesse Schwartz take a deep dive into the men's lacrosse team on Thursday.
As always, be sure to keep up with all of Terrapin Sports Central's coverage on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and online at terrapinsportscentral.com.
Thanks for being with us.